I guess.
Look at him. Wanting some huggles. So sweet.
Yeah, somebody's a lovey kitty, eh? Yeah.
Aren't you cute?
On today's show, John will be joined by Nalini Ramroop of Toronto Cat Rescue. They're going to explain to us the difference between feral and stray cats, and they're also going to help us understand why it's important to know the difference should we encounter one. So what should people do if they find a strange cat hanging around their home?
Right, okay, well, what's the condition of the cat? How does the cat look? Is it in good shape? Because it could be just someone's cat that's just out for a stroll. It could be a feral cat. It could be a cat that's lost. Does the cat have a collar with ID? The thing to do is if you see the cat around for a couple of days, go out and look for posters, see if there's a missing cat. If not, you may need to collect the cat, put in a carrier, and take to a vet to get microchipped in case there's a microchip there. And if that's not the case, then putting up posters saying, you know, this is a cat that you've seen around. Does anybody know who this cat lives with? Because if you can figure out whether it's feral or just someone that's letting their cat out, that will make it a big difference.
Obviously, if the cat's friendly, it's not feral.
Not necessarily, but often.
Feral cats will sometimes be friendly?
It depends on how long they've been feral and and how gregarious they are, what their relationship was with their family before they got lost and became feral.
Right.
But most feral cats aren't. The best way to tell is lost cats generally are in worse shape because they're lost cats. Feral cats tend to be in okay shape, and they tend to keep their distance. The feral cat's been out in the world on their own or within colonies, and they figured out how to get food. A lost cat, first of all, they're scared because they've become lost. They've come out of their territory. That is a concern. Then of course, where am I going to get food and water from is another concern. And then all these concerns make them extremely fearful, so they tend not to go around with people. So at that point, you might have to do some trapping. It really it gets pretty involved.
So, can you tell me what you believe the difference is between a feral cat and what we know as our domestic house cat?
So a feral cat is one who is born in the wild, has not had much socialization with human beings. They are literally wild animals, and they should be left outside. And versus a home cat is one who has grown accustomed to human beings ever since it was a kitten, was gentled and socialized, and makes a great house pet. Feral cats do not make great house pets.
So, what kind of circumstances do people engage with Toronto Cat Rescue other than just looking for a cat to adopt?
Daily, we get people who have to surrender their cat, particularly in the current economy. The costs have become prohibitive, and housing insecurity is forcing people, unfortunately, to have to find other homes for their cats. We get called about stray cats all the time. We get called about feral kittens. So this is the way that the public usually comes to us asking for help. We help when we can, but obviously we don't always have the capacity to do so. So we give them as many resources and tell them how they can help themselves as well.
I know that you mentioned something to me about people kind of not knowing what's the difference between a stray cat and a feral cat. Like how do those sort of misunderstandings manifest themselves?
Well, I think that, first of all, a feral cat, people barely ever see them. They certainly will not see them in the day.
Right.
They are hiding. If a stray's coming up to you and it's really super friendly, that's an owned pet. It might be an abandoned owned pet, or it might be someone's outdoor cat. So we really caution people not to rescue strays on the street, to do some digging, put some posters out, try to find if this cat has an owner. Whether it's our philosophy or not, to not let cats outdoors, the reality is people do. These people still love their cats, and we don't want folks stealing an owned animal, right? So, yes.
Yeah. What upcoming events do you have as far as fundraising for Toronto Cat Rescue?
We are going to be at Pet Expo November 18th and 19th. We'll be there all weekend. It's everyone in the animal welfare sector, and we're going to be having a booth with brochures, information on Toronto Cat Rescue, plus some merch for sale.
You mentioned something to me when we talked earlier about people kidnapping feral kittens.
Yeah, so it's called kitten napping. So mom has her babies, and a feral mom is the absolute best caregiver for her babies till about 5-6 weeks old, when they're eating on their own. Then we can engage in trying to trap the kittens and trap mom for spay. But if you see a little litter of kittens, they're not considered abandoned until 24 hours has passed with no mom. Because sometimes moms do get hit by cars or injured, but generally speaking, don't just grab the kittens and leave the babies with mom until they're 5 or 6 weeks old, when they're eating on their own. That's their best chance. Hang around, wait around, make sure there's not a mom cat. Human rearing of bottle feeding babies, it's not as successful as a proper cat queen taking care of her babies. So leave them out there.
On next week's show, we're going to speak with Nalini Ramroop again, and she's going to tell us more about how to adopt a rescue cat and why it could just change your life.
Like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. Don't miss an episode of BobCat's Playground. Help us change the world, one cat at a time.
How about a climb? Come here. How about a climb? Come here. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Look at that. You're so smart. Want to do that again?
BobCat's Playground is produced by Edit Extreme. The opinions expressed are those of the participants and are not intended to replace professional advice. Find out more at editextreme.com.